Dame Lillard has been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. How is this going to affect the New Orleans Pelicans? Let's get into it right now.
First took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth.
All right, joined with, wow, I got a whole crew here. Chris, Chaz, Lito, and Five. Chris, I'm going to start with you right here. Before we get into it, like, comment, and subscribe. Brought to you by Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Chris, the Pelicans have pick swaps in 2024 and 2026 with the Bucks. If they don't use those, they then get unprotected first-round picks of 2025 and 2027. The Bucks, Giannis was a big question. They didn't know if he was going to, he's been saying a lot of things in the media about how he wants to win a championship team. They make a move, a home run move for Dame Lillard, and now those assets that the Pelicans were banking on are now dwindling. What are your thoughts? And then we'll get everyone else's thoughts.
No, it's just unfortunate that you are, because of the way some of these a majority of these assets have kind of failed or have fumbled in this 5 years, that you're kind of being forced to continue to kick the can down the road towards optimism. Just from an asset perspective, we don't even have to talk about a team right now. But if we just talking about assets, like, I'd say within the last year, almost every asset that you could think about possibly moving, even if it turns out to be a good deal, I think has depreciated. If you think about it, almost every asset, player, pick wise, over the past year that you currently have right now, almost all of them has depreciated. And that could of course change, but from previous draft picks, and I'm leaving guys out like Trey, Herb, and guys like that, but almost everybody, including Zion, we're talking from a health perspective, and you can go back and forth in regards to Brandon, but I think there's some question there as well in regards to games played, and maybe some people around the league are looking at him funny a little bit after FIBA. Who knows? But you can make an argument that almost every single person or every single option, every single asset, just in one last year, going back to Dyson, has depreciated in one way or another. And the last thing that it felt like at this point you were holding on to were those Bucks picks and what Giannis was going to do and how that team was going to look going forward. It felt like there was a decent opportunity that maybe, they would have to be in a situation to move on to life without Giannis. That's not happening, and they got better. They added a top 10 player in the league out of nowhere as a small market for a dude that said he only wanted to go to this said place. It's crazy, man, and it's an unfortunate. When you take a look at things and you're going into year 5, it's unfortunate that you get to see another small market team move this way and be celebrated and have an opportunity to win.
Justin, you might be muted.
You muted, Justin.
Sorry. Not only do the Bucks get better, Five, the Blazers and the Suns also got better. We talked about the Blazers get Jrue Holiday and DeAndre Ayton, 2 huge tradable assets that they can use now when they have also Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and they also have Anthony Simons. So you have that team. Then also the Suns get better as well, as they get a starting center in Nurkic, and then they bolster their bench, which was the huge question mark going into this season. So 2 Western Conference teams, and I'm going to go with 5, and I want to hear Chaz's and Lito's points, get better as well in this trade. So what are your thoughts, I guess, on the overall trade, and then also the Western teams getting better as well?
Yeah. First off, Chris said something kind of that stuck out to me. He said unfortunate. No, Hurricane Katrina was unfortunate because you had no time to plan for it. You had an enormous amount of time to plan for this. Like, you knew that the Bucks were going to attempt to try to get better. They weren't just going to let Giannis walk. I mean, just from an asset perspective, you allowed this to happen. Like, this team, the Zion, Brandon, CJ, like, this team needed to get better now. Like, we weren't anticipating these picks to be used in 4 to 5 years. Like, no, we wanted another team to give us something so they can try to, finagle this, not us wait on it. It's it's hard to think about, pause. It's hard to sit back and just allow this to simmer, but this team should have seen this happening because the Bucks have kind of done this before. They've put pieces around Giannis to win. You thought they were just going to sit back and allow that, like, not do that again or not try? And let me talk about a team in the Suns. They're the proverbial tip drill. They saw something going on and it was like, all right, I'm in on this too. Like, let me get in on this and let me become a better team too. 2 for 1. They the dude that you pull up with your partners, and you're not expecting nothing. Your partner's on a mission. You just going for the ride. Pause. And you end up in a better situation than they are. Right? Like, we've all been there. Like, you end up winning, and everybody end up winning. You going along. You just was in the right place at the right time. That's the Phoenix Suns. They're in the right place at the right time, and that team got better. And as far as the Portland Trailblazers front office, I am impressed by the way that they've operated. Not only did they not just give in to Dame's demands, they sent him to a better opportunity, to be quite frank. And they got more out of it. Like, it was a win-win for them. So I'm going to just look at that team and that front office and be like, oh, bravo. You stood on what you thought was right, and you did it. And I applaud people like that.
Chaz, go ahead.
I think I'm sure David Griffin and Gail. Well, I can't say Gail. Gail, he didn't get her money out the mud, but I'm sure David Griffin and Trajan, they make more difficult decisions in an hour than I probably make all day. But they just don't seem to have any type of direction or basketball sense or business sense as it pertains to like even the way the NBA is moving and how it's functioning and how lightning fast things can change. Most teams don't get 4 and 5 years to fumble through shit. To me, I'm not disappointed on any level with this particularly, but I think the Suns are really the party crasher. Yeah, I think the Bucks, they were kind of like alluded to the entire time. You could kind of see that Miami wasn't very serious. And there's always the chance that Dame kind of just, he just act weird and say, I said I want to go to Miami. This is not Miami. And, he just, there's a chance that happens. But I will say, as it just comes to the asset management with this team, when you see the return that Portland got, Ayton is a great get for them. But let's say in a world where the Suns aren't involved, right? If you see the return that Portland got, and you saw what happened with Bradley Beal, the fact that this team, and these are guys like with years left on their contracts. These are like all-star players, all NBA type dudes. The Pelicans are continuing to sit on depreciating assets. Just sitting on depreciating assets. And as time goes on, like let's say they decide to trade Brandon or Zion, whoever tomorrow. That Damian Lillard return look good. Like, what I'm saying? That Bradley Beal, he had a no trade clause, but that Bradley Beal return look good. Like, and it's really doomed the franchise in a lot of ways because I was messing around with the trade machine yesterday. Even if you went after Zach LaVine, or even if you went after Pascal Siakam, even if you went after some of these guys, you don't even have like the salary. Your picks ain't really worth shit. Like, and everything, shout out to Chris and his show. Everything is just, well, hey, if Zion is healthy, we ain't got to worry about nothing else. And it's like, damn, when you really think about it, y'all had all these riches, probably had more than any front office in history ever had to start out with. Number 1 pick, all these assets, number 2 pick in Lonzo, Jrue Holiday, and you just fucked it all up. Oh, like you fucked it all up. You just blew it on crack rock. Just blew it all on crack rock. And now look at you.
Lito, you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead.
I mean, man, that Dame Giannis pick and roll versus Joker and Murray in the finals is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy to see. Can't wait to watch that. I mean, I don't even know what the question is. Like, I could just tell you that the picks is worth where I'm sitting. They in the projects. I got nothing positive to say. I mean, it's just interesting seeing a small market team, be able to find their way year in and year out, in a situation where they're consistently winning or in a position to get to, Eastern Conference Finals, maybe the finals. I saw Schmidt had a tweet and he said, winning in a small market, like, man, it sounds good. It must be addictive. And I think, while I know it was some sort of like joke to that, I think that's a real thing. I think you find a way to do it and then you like, fuck, I can't ever go back to the other shit. And I just want to find that. I'm tired of being in the other shit. Like, I want to be in a winning situation. And I feel like, these picks ride it. I mean, I've been screaming since January 23rd. I looked at a tweet, January 23rd, 2023. Trade the fucking picks. Get off them. You're not going to do anything with them. You can't draft all these players. And when we do draft players, I'm not even going to discuss that. But I'm just going to say, win the projects.
So 5, I thought it was an interesting point today when we were together. Pause. When we were at lunch. So you and Lito said the game is the game, and Jrue Holiday came out yesterday and said he wanted to retire a Buck. I don't want to play for any other team. I think we have a chance to continue to do great things as the Bucks team. Blah blah blah. Right? What did I do?
Nah. You ain't do that.
You're doing that. You keep talking. You're good.
What I'm saying though is the Bucks made a championship caliber move. Obviously, everyone loves Jrue Holiday. Everybody does.
The Bucks didn't.
A lot of the Bucks organization likes Jrue Holiday. They still traded him. They still made a move and traded him. A small market championship contending team, a guy that everyone really likes in the organization, they traded him.
Because the game is the game. Like business trumps everything else. If you want to win, if you want to be better, you go get better players. And I get it, right? Like, you develop a relationship because it's not all just business. Business is relationships and kind of how you do. And you got to be able to navigate that. But you have to stand on something, right? You have to be able to see, like, hey, I need to get better. My best player is telling me this isn't enough. Like, it takes for the best player, to say this isn't enough. And their front office, the Bucks front office, again goes out and makes a trade, and hopefully it pays dividends, because they did the exact same thing to get Jrue Holiday, and it paid dividends. No, Jrue, for one, I think he shout out the front office of the Pelicans. He said that David Griffin and the Pelicans front office did him great by sending him to a winner, right? He did him a solid, right? You're not going to get that everywhere. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, no one's out there just, helping you out just to help you out. Only if it makes sense for them when they have the keys to the car. Like, I'm not going to drop you off way uptown if I'm not going uptown just because of it. Like, I got to get something out of it. You got gas money, my G? Like, you got to be able to do something for it. I mean, at this juncture, they had the keys. They said, nope, we're going to send you to Portland, and you got to figure it out. And he probably ends up in Miami, someplace that I've been feeling like Jrue Holiday should have been. It's probably one of those players that probably one of those places that Jrue Holiday wants to end up in. Cool. But you figure out how to get there. We got you a championship. We don't owe you anything else.
Yep. Chaz, also, Dame Lillard just said excited for my next chapter with the at Bucks. So looks like he's ready to roll. So
fuck Dame Lillard. Crying like a hoe all the time. Like, nobody told you sign no extension. You crying all fucking off season. Get out of here. Shut up. You better win too. Oh, my stomach. Oh, my abdominal. Oh, shut up.
Chris, so now clearly everyone's really frustrated here, Chris, but do you think this is it for Griff if they fail again this year? Is this it?
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think everybody is frustrated necessarily, because, like, I mean, thinking about the assets is, a frustrating element. But to be honest, like, that was still in the shadows, or still something that you had to think about before the move. It's just an added obstacle, an added, irritant of sorts, for, another domino that fell against you. And, when, like Five did mention, you had a lot more control, not too long ago. So, and before this trade happened, if another trade happens, James Harden, like no matter what else happens going forward, we've been talking about this since the season ended. Like once they 100% decided, or if they never wave it off the fact, whichever route it was about Brandon and Zion and running it back with that duo and with CJ and as the third wheel there, you felt like something has to give in this upcoming year, and that could mean a whole bunch of things. Whether they just don't figure it out together, whether they still don't find ways to play games together, they're not healthy, the team doesn't succeed. We talked a lot about trades that we would have made, or if it was time to pull the plug on this person or that person. It's tough, and Chaz mentioned right about Griff and Trajan Langdon having to make tough decisions. And here is the other side to this, which is why folks wanted, or there was a part of the fan base that wanted the team to kind of cut the plug or pull the plug early on even moving Brandon or Zion for a guy like Scoot to just kind of reset, because on one hand, all right, you're committing to the talents that are Brandon and Zion, but on the other hand, history has shown you that they can't play together. But that also hamstrings your ability to make certain moves that people want to see. Right? This offseason that we saw them not really do anything is like that's tied to the fact that these dudes ain't on the floor anyway. How aggressive can we be? Doesn't matter if we make bordering moves if we know our number one and number two player can't. I mean, it's insanity, man. I mean, it's really insanity watching this thing fall out. So yeah, I mean, this has to be it. I mean, you would hope, but I don't think it changes much from where we were a day ago or a short few hours. It's just another domino that's going against this team, and it's putting added pressure on the organization to figure it out, and Brandon and Zion to play enough games and win together.
Yeah, good point. Lito, I'll get this and then Chaz. Where would y'all like, because people keep saying like Pelicans should get Jrue Holiday. That ain't happening. It's like, I don't like, y'all can get rid of that. Like, that's just not going to happen. You don't have the salary to match. And I just don't think that would be a smart move. But Lito, where would you like to see Jrue end up?
I don't care. I want to talk about the Pelicans. I want to say that I want to add on to Chris's point, like about the frustration. The frustration for me is I don't care about the Dame shit. Dame was never coming here. You know what I'm saying? So like that wasn't the option. The frustration for me is we going into year 5 of the situation we're in, and we still don't know if that situation works. That's the frustration. Like that's the thing that I think if anybody has like an axe to grind, I think that would be it. Like we talking 93 games, like, you know what I'm saying? And again, we in year 5 and we trying to build on to what are we building on? I don't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to say it doesn't work. I'm here to say I don't know if it works because I haven't seen it. Where does Jrue Holiday go? Probably Miami. Probably.
It's a good play there. Chaz, you brought up a good point. So the assets that Griffin and Trajan came in, they got the number 1 overall pick. They then had the Anthony Davis trade chip in which they get Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, all the picks. Then they also had the number 4 pick in which they traded away, right, for Jackson Hayes and Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I believe that's correct. And then and then they
Herb
traded
Jones, I guess, in theory.
And Herb Jones. And then they traded Jrue Holiday away for all the Milwaukee draft picks. It was Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams. Is that correct?
And George Hill, but he ain't won't come in. He's a smart man.
And that was 2 or 3 years ago when we traded Jrue? 3 years ago?
About 3
What I'm
years
saying,
ago.
though, is that they had all these draft picks. They had all the Lakers draft picks when Lakers were down bad early on last year. They didn't move any of the picks. They had all the Milwaukee picks. Did they attach all the seconds from Milwaukee with Devontae Graham? Is that correct?
I'm not sure if it was all of them.
But either way, they've had all these assets, and they haven't done anything with them.
I think aside from the picks, the Pelicans' biggest mistake has been how they handle and manage their player assets. shout out to Jrue Holiday, real respected man in the community. But as a player, that MVP Jrue shit, that was a waste of everybody's time. And he should have been traded along with Anthony Davis. Like he should have been up out of here. And I like Jrue at that time. I thought Jrue was my favorite player going until that following season. But the writing was on the wall. You got to get him out of here. That's just not who he is. He can't play point guard. All this weird stuff. Get him out of here. Same thing when you see some of the other guys on the team now. You can't just continue to be reactionary. You can't wait and see, oh shit, Zion's hurt. All right, now what do we do? Let's scramble and figure it out. It's like, nah, bro, you got to build a team that can at least be respectable without Zion. And they still got some player assets. You know what I'm saying? You can, if you wanted to replenish your picks, you can replenish some of those picks. You still got Brandon. As long as you got Brandon Zion, you can get a couple picks here and there. Now, how valuable those picks are gonna be, and who knows? But also, you don't want to take for granted that this is still a time-sensitive situation. Because the only reason you're comfortable with Zion being here right now is because Zion been hurt. Zion go out and have a good year or a good year and a half, he gonna start saying, I don't like the way I'm being treated around here. I think I want to go somewhere else. Once he's healthy, you're gonna run into the same situations. It's just the team I don't know. It's ownership on down. It starts with Gale, then it goes because you're in the fucking luxury tax for Cody Zeller right now. You're in the luxury tax for Cody Zeller. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's Gale on down. And that's the reality of it,
So, Jared, why don't you think Trajan and Griff are aggressive? Why don't you think they're aggressive GMs? And why don't you think they've made any moves? Do you think it's an ownership problem, or is it that Griff and Trajan are satisfied where they're at right now? Oh, wait, hold up. You're muted. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. No, I'm not gonna speak for them. I don't know them on a level like that. I just think they might be like hamstrung at this point, right? It's kind of like a give and take situation. Like you asked me to get you a new coach after coach after coach, right? Like you've done that multiple times, and I'm still kind of paying that off. And you asked for Aaron Nelson and the upgrades that needed to be there, but I haven't seen the fruits of said labor, right? Like it's a kind of a give and take situation. And I'm sure she's a businesswoman, just like they understand business as well. And they haven't proven anything. So why, if I was in her situation, yes, I probably would, because I'm a fan of it. And she should probably invest more into the team. But as Chaz alluded to, like you're in the overdraft for Cody Zeller. Like you're paying too much money just for a player like Cody Zeller. Like we haven't seen any fruits. Like I wouldn't give you guys any more money or give me any more rope to pull if you haven't done anything or the team hasn't had sustainable success.
Nah, well said. Chris or Lito or Chaz, you want to add on to that? All good?
No,
No. I mean, he's right though. It's because what realistic move can you make that will matter, or could you have made that will matter when so much is tied into the unknown of your best two players, and that's part of go ahead, Justin.
Well, what I want to say is that Chaz called this out actually last year. Is like, why would you trade Devontae Graham? That was really one of your only tradable assets coming into the offseason at 14 mil, and you get rid of him for Jason Richardson, who, as Five just alluded to, like haven't seen fruits of labor. So like,
Right.
I feel like there's just not a consistent vision.
But but Justin, but even let's say you kept that asset. Sure, it gives you added flexibility. I mean, I still think looking back now, yeah, I mean, where you're sitting at currently, with still being in the tax, it's, I don't think it was the smartest of asset management. But if we're talking about the aggression, or we're talking about the front office being more aggressive when it comes to roster moves, what could they really do outside of trading 1 and 2. Once they decided as a group that we are committing to Zion and Brandon, and CJ's going to be here, and we just pay Herb, and we're going to pay Trey, what could they have really done that's going to matter, or that's going to be more valuable than your best than the two players you committing to themselves for an 82 game season and being out there? I mean, what's like that's the issue here. Like, I mean, you look at, we talked a lot about the Clippers last year. They are again a perfect example. They make all different types of bordering moves, and sure, it gives them it gives them success to where we're talking about them being in the playoffs every year. That's going to happen, and we know what they, we know what the commitments that they've made. The coaching staff, and they have the richest owner in basketball, and one of the richest owners in sports, right? But it doesn't matter year in and year out when Kawhi and Paul George aren't on the floor together. It doesn't matter. So for the Pelicans to be able to do it, and then they're nowhere near to the Clippers. Why would they? How could they? They have to. I mean, and that goes back to the folks that in the offseason would like, just end it now, just in this relationship, move on from either Brandon or Zion now. I understand why folks are like that. So if we're still in the same situation that we were before, it's on them. It's on Zion and it's on Brandon. And it's either going, and listen, if they play, and it's successful, the bordering moves that we're talking about that they can end up making, they'll have a chance to make it at the trading deadline. We'll be talking about something else. But we're in the same shoes we were not too long ago. It's on your top two players to be out there and be playing basketball.
That's a good point. Lito, Chaz, final thoughts.
If they play and they're successful, is crazy. Like, I ain't talking about Chris. Like, I'm saying in general, like that the fact that he has to make that statement in year 5 if they play and are like, what? I mean, play, I guess. Be successful. That's all I got.
Chaz, close us out.
Man, I always just say, if only, because to me, only one guy matters, right? Like from, the consensus is one person matters more than everyone else. So if one person matters more than everyone else, and you had this chance to do all these, because we're really, the only thing that really hurts with this particular move is that now it pushes the value of those picks back maybe another year or two. Whereas you might have could have sold the team that, this is it for Milwaukee. You can, what y'all want to do. Now it's like, fuck, we got to kick the can on this. We got to kick the can on that. And, it becomes a situation like that. Now, the bright side to all of this is Pelicans still have their own picks. And the Pelicans' chances of being shitty are a lot higher than any other team's chances, that of picks they own. So, and I think if I'm a team, an opposing team, I'm telling you, people don't think very highly of this team. So I would be like, I want your picks. I want Milwaukee. I want all your picks, Pelicans. So they still got that going for them. A little, positivity in the show.
A little positivity, Jared. Do you have any final thoughts, Five?
No, I'm not positive about any of this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Chaz is right. Like, no, you got to sell your own picks before you even sell the picks that you were supposed to sell. Like, I don't see how you kind of get out of this. Everything is predicated on Zion. Everything is surrounding one player, because it doesn't matter if Brandon's healthy and he plays 65 games. It's not gonna yield you the results that you actually need. You have to see if number one can play in a substantial amount of games and make a substantial difference, win some awards, get some All-NBA teams, make it at least to the second round of the playoffs. That's minimum.
The second round.
Yeah.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's hear from our sponsors over there at DraftKings. Can you believe we've had 7 months without an NFL game? Crazy, right? Well, good thing that's over. NFL's here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. Download now and use code BOOT to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code BOOT only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. We're going to see y'all Sunday night previewing 2023 Media Day. Shout out again, Lito, Chaz, 5, and Chris. We will see y'all Sunday night.